From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Hello, and welcome to a special edition of Cronkite News from Los Angeles. Today, we will be taking a closer look at two very relevant topics in the world of sports: the upcoming Olympics in Rio de Janeiro and the technologies that are expanding the playing and viewing experience. But first, let's head to a story directly about Brazil. As the largest international sports competition draws closer, Rio de Janeiro has gone through a complete infrastructure overhaul, and the city has worked hard to build new facilities in preparation for the Games. One particular Olympic venue's construction took longer than expected: the Velodrome, home to all the indoor cycling events. Not far from here, the Velo Sports Center is a track much like the one engineers have built in Rio. Opened in 2004, it's where the U.S. team is trained before they head to the Olympics to compete on the recently finished Velodrome.
Uncertainty has surrounded the upcoming Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. As the largest international sporting competition draws closer, speculation persists concerning whether facilities under construction would be complete for the first Olympic Games to be held in South America.
I think the biggest thing that always surrounds the Olympics, especially in the last few of them, has been, is it going to be completed or is there going to be done?
The last piece of that construction puzzle is the Olympic Velodrome, the indoor cycling track that features races between athletes traveling at breakneck speeds.
There are velodromes all around the world, and each one is different. Here at the Velo Sports Center in Carson, California, it's made out of Siberian pine and must be regulated at very specific conditions. The building is kept at 72 degrees Fahrenheit with 50% humidity. If it's too moist, the wood would buckle, and if it's too dry, the wood would splinter. And that would certainly be a problem for any cyclist trying to navigate the very steep 45-degree turns.
Failure to complete this velodrome would mean the Olympics would go without many of its most popular events.
I think the spectators, the fans, of course the racers, and the riders who have trained all their life wouldn't even want to think on that prospect.
A series of recent setbacks have created anxiety. In March, a test event was canceled due to the track not being completed on time. Then in May, the Rio City government terminated its contract with Tecnosolo, the company responsible for the velodrome's construction, after it filed for bankruptcy.
Any logistics to do with the Olympic Games, I'm sure is going to be very complicated. In South America, it can be complicated to get maybe a project at that level done and completed on time.
As media reports swirled around the construction delays of the velodrome, many cyclists, including U.S. phenom Chloe Dygert, couldn't help but think about the tenuous situation in the facility that would host her first Olympic Games.
We were definitely thinking about the process. We were trying not to worry about it too much, just because we knew no matter what happened, something was going to be available for us.
Fortunately for the Olympic cyclists competing, the velodrome will be the last venue to be presented to the local organizing committee. And Dygert and the rest of the U.S. team can turn their attention back to their training.
We'll continue to focus on controlling what we can control. That's good preparation, good execution, good teamwork, and we'll just work hard and do our best, and results, should be the natural outcome of that.
Olympic competition in the recently completed velodrome will take place August 11th through August 16th. This is Alex Capriello from the Cronkite Sports Bureau in Los Angeles.
Indoor cycling has become one of the most popular Olympic sports for viewers to watch, but it's not the only event on two wheels. Fans can also watch competitors go head-to-head in BMX, mountain biking, and road race events. The U.S. has medal hopefuls in these disciplines, but nothing like the favorite status conferred on the American women's water polo team. Courtney Mathewson, the oldest member of the squad, is one of 4 returning gold medalists from the 2012 Olympic team. Nick Smith spent some time with her.
Anyone can recognize why an athlete tries to make it to the Olympics, but few can understand the price that must be paid to get there. Courtney Mathewson knows. The 29-year-old water polo player won gold with the United States team in London during the 2012 Games. But was that moment worth the effort it would take to get there again? At 29, Mathewson is the oldest member of the U.S. women's senior national team, and her body is starting to feel the effects of years and years of strenuous work.
The hardest part of my routine is repeating it day after day. You start the week fresh on Monday, you get into good workouts and a lifting session, and you're physically and emotionally exhausted and drained of your energy, and it's only Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays we lift in the morning from 7 to basically 9 a.m. We run through a 2-hour weight session with our coach, and then we hop in the water and usually do some conditioning for about an hour, hour and a half. We get out around 10:30 and we have a little bit of a break. I usually have coffee in the morning before I go to practice, just to wake me up because it's so early in the morning. But it's so physically exhausting at practice that we always need a coffee in between. And then the afternoon practice is from 1:30 to 4:30, and that is mostly all water polo. So we do drills, passing, shooting.
For Mathewson, the work ethic was honed while winning 4 consecutive national championships at UCLA.
The time that I had at UCLA from 2004 to 2008 were some of the greatest years of my life. I was thrust into it in the very beginning. This is a standard, this is expectations. We train this hard. This is what we want to accomplish every single season.
7 years later, Mathewson is now one of the unquestioned leaders for Team USA.
Courtney leads by example. She might not be the most vocal, but you know, every day in and out of the water, she's giving 100%. So Courtney definitely leads by example and giving hard work every day.
But all the success in the pool comes with a price.
I've had a few injuries. I have had 2 shoulder surgeries, 2 torn ligaments in my finger. That lasted a year and actually just hurt my back. So I think with my age and playing for so long and it's just so physically demanded on your body, it just kind of one thing after the other. Practice is difficult. It's the toughest thing that I've ever done. And leading up to 2012, I thought that was the hardest I could ever work. And we've gone far beyond that this quad.
But despite the physical demands of the sport, Mathewson keeps coming back, continuing to push herself each and every day.
But it's also a challenge. It's, can I get through this? Can I get better? Can I make my teammates better? And I think that's where the excitement lies.
And despite the day-to-day focus it takes, Mathewson has an end goal in mind, being one of the select few to make a once-in-a-lifetime feeling happen twice.
For me, I try and keep the end goal in mind. The thought of possibly competing at the Olympics again you can't find another feeling that's going to match that. When we stood there on the podium, we were all holding hands in our matching Nike uniforms, and they announced us as Olympic champions, United States of America. We were all sobbing. Like everything that you'd ever put in from day one to the sport, inside and out of the water, paid off, and it was all totally worth it.
Mathewson is planning on hanging her swim cap up after 2016. This almost surely is her last shot at the podium, and she knows that each day of practice means she's one day closer to the career finish she's aiming for. For Cronkite Sports in Los Angeles, I'm Nick Smith.
The games in Rio will likely be Mathewson's final time competing, and she hopes to add another medal to her trophy case, which includes 9 golds in international competition. Like Mathewson, our final Olympian is also a UCLA grad. This Bruin, however, will be making her first Olympic appearance. Lauren Fendrick just narrowly missed the cut for the U.S. beach volleyball team at the 2012 games in London, and since then, she has become a chemistry major on the beach. To understand what that means, here's Julian Lopez.
Once the ball hit the sand for the final time at the London Olympics in 2012, professional beach volleyball player Lauren Fendrick has had one goal: Rio or bust. Fendrick, a Carlsbad, California native, and her partner Brooke Niles finished 3rd in the qualification for the last Olympics, just missing a berth on Team USA. Even though she was able to travel to London for a week and a half as an alternate, Fendrick would have much rather been able to compete instead of cheering for her teammates from the sidelines.
I was super happy for them, cheering for them, but at the same time I wanted to be there, so I knew starting in the next day, like, this was my goal, to go to Rio, to win Rio, and that's been motivation ever since.
A 5-sport athlete in high school, Fendrick didn't start playing competitive volleyball until her sophomore year of high school. Her rise in the sport was swift, as she chose UCLA as a college, in part because one close family member would be able to come watch her play.
UCLA had a fantastic volleyball program, really good academics, and I liked being close to home. Grew up in San Diego, so my mom could come up and watch all the games.
Fendrick had success not only on the court in Westwood, but also in the classroom as she graduated magna cum laude in 2003 with a degree in communication studies. Right after graduation, she started playing the AVP circuit and gradually improved her finishes. Then in 2010, while still on tour, she got her JD degree at USC and passed the bar exam. A year later, she hit the mother lode, winning 2 tournaments with Brooke Niles, but she may have found her best chemistry when she united with 2-time AVP Defensive Player of the Year, Brooke Sweat, in 2014. That same year, Fendrick was named the AVP's best blocker.
I'm really lucky to have Lauren as a teammate. She's so easygoing and we get along really good off the court and on the court, but it's just nice when you have a teammate that respects you and you respect. Lauren's a very technical player. She's been playing for a really long time, so she knows what she's doing. She's a thinker.
Fendrick and Sweat are coached by Fendrick's husband, former professional volleyball player and current USC Beach volunteer assistant coach, Andrew Fuller. Even though they spend countless hours on the court practicing, once off the court, the conversations between Fendrick and Fuller revolve around the game.
With the Summer Olympics only weeks away, it's hard to contemplate anything beyond the Games in Rio. But a large part of what makes the Olympics so exciting is the anticipation of what's ahead. So, for the second half of the show, we'll take a glimpse into the future. French tennis racket company Babolat has moved to the forefront of sports technology. Engineers there have inserted an ultra-smart microchip into each of their rackets that can provide data to users instantly. This brilliant innovation is being heralded by many professionals and is being used by 14-time Grand Slam winner and Olympic gold medalist Rafael Nadal. Alison Gargaro has more.
Advancements in technology over the last decade have had a profound effect in such professional sports as baseball and basketball. Now in tennis, technology is accessible at the consumer level via data that can be collected from inside individual rackets.
By 2020, all product will be connected.
Alan Iverson works for Babolat, a 141-year-old family French-owned racket sports manufacturer, duking it out in a very competitive industry. Their advantage is they have created a system called Play, which is the first of its kind to insert a 6-axis sensor into the handle of a racket without affecting its weight or performance. Altogether, it displays a wide range of data on a downloadable app.
It can give you your results, forehands, backhands, serves, volleys, speed and spin levels for the shots per day, date, and time. You can connect to it via Bluetooth, via your phone, or there's a port here you can connect to your computer.
The live feedback data is known as a pulse measurement, which gives athletes the chance to compete with players within their selected community or participants around the world.
Well, it's all about connecting people, and that's why the social aspect of this device is so important, where I can share my information, I can see how other people are doing, kind of like a Facebook for technology.
The feedback from the application can also be used to refine an individual player's skill set.
It's measuring your technique, which is how often you're hitting the same spot per shot. Endurance is how many shots and how powerful I hit within a certain time frame, and then also my general power levels, how fast those swings are. And that triangulates to give me a pulse number.
Babolat also uses the shared data to refine the creation of future rackets. They found most users were hitting topspin forehands, backhands, and serves higher on the racket face, resulting in the movement of the sweet spot up 4 millimeters. Moving this area up has made it easier for players of all levels to improve. The information can be kept confidential as well.
Caroline Wozniacki and Rafa Nadal have used this racket, and so it is approved for pro use, which means you can only pair this racket to one device at a time. That way other people can't get your data.
Professionals are also setting the tone for daily users to compare their personal speed. The Play technology represents an athlete's power as a percentage instead of miles per hour, which is directly correlated to a professional's normal hitting stroke speed.
You can see your stats versus a pro, so you can see how you're measuring up to what a pro is really doing with their racket head.
With no imitators in sight, Babolat is leading the industry with integrated technology. Costing $350 per racket, Local tennis dealers around the country are supporting Babala's vision of connecting communities and making the product an everyday reality. This is Allison Gargaro for the Cronkite Sports Bureau in Los Angeles.
Babala's microchip isn't the only recent advancement in the world of athletics. The Sports Academy in Thousand Oaks, California is a magnificent training center unlike any other. The first of its kind, this 96,000 square foot facility is the future of sports training, providing tools for all types of Olympic sports, including basketball, track and field, and even an indoor sand court for beach volleyball. Giselle Cancio explored this state-of-the-art complex.
It's a modern-day field of dreams in some of the most expensive real estate on the face of the planet. A sports complex which boggles the mind.
Our goal is to make this place the best place it can be. Sports Academy Thousand Oaks, the top of the level, empower athletes to be the best they can be. That's more important than anything else. Not opening more, making the Sports Academy Thousand Oaks the best training center on the world.
Here is a sprawling formal industrial complex turned into a jaw-dropping sports academy in Thousand Oaks, 45 miles from downtown LA. This idea, jotted down with a pen and an old-fashioned paper napkin, came to fruition, developed, and executed in a little over a year with the help of private investors.
I started with a smaller idea to really solve the problem of really busy parents and really busy kids that are effectively junior high to high school age living in our community. And that commitment to club sports and families committing to that lifestyle when it's a very logistically challenged way of living.
Newcomers meet with athlete advocates who perform a quick assessment to understand the individual's needs and goals.
Let us help lead you and guide you in that process and show you the different things we have and create a custom-knit training program for you, the individual, whether you're a mom, a dad, a child, a pro athlete, an Olympian. We have that available for everybody.
We want it to be available for as many sports as possible. And from a business standpoint, you're always looking for as many people to serve as you can and to create value for. And understanding in an environment like we're in, where really our training is very purpose-based. So it's not like I'm going for a workout.
The Sports Academy charges a reasonable fee based on the programs the athlete is enrolled in. And it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
There's everything and more at somebody's fingertips that will allow them to better themselves as an athlete. We try and make all of that readily available and encourage people to take advantage of everything that we offer.
This 96,000 square foot facility is more than just physical activity, as Sports Academy values an athlete's mind, body, and soul. Other services offered here include CQD defense training, brain development, and sports medicine. It's all a part of what they consider to be a full-body athlete.
We wanted to pour more into character development into the athlete, education, empowerment into the athlete, that living a healthy lifestyle is actually a best way to go at it.
We're here to benefit the athlete, and we're all focused on their goals and bettering them in their performance, their mental acuity, everything else under the sun. It's usually a very welcoming scenario for someone like that.
High school senior and Stanford commit Colby Parkinson has spent less than a week at the Sports Academy training his mind, body, and soul 4 to 5 hours each day, soaking in brain developments, workouts, and rehab.
I think a lot of people take too much focus on the physical side and they don't really realize how important the mental side is. There's always these pro guys and these Olympians coming in here. I think this is going to be the new place to be.
In fact, on the day we were there, the 2016 NFL #1 overall draft pick, Jared Goff, and NBA shooting guard Nick Young were getting their workout session in. Sports Academy is the first of its kind and may just be the model of the future when it comes to athletic training facilities. For the Cronkite Sports Bureau in Los Angeles, I'm Giselle Cancio.
While the Sports Academy is helping its athletes run faster and jump higher, one high school pole vaulter in Anaheim may be the future of her event. Rachel Baxter has accomplished a lot in her short career, including out-jumping her competition this year to become a U.S. National Under-20 champion. Rachel Baxter is only 17 years old, a high school junior at Canyon High School in Anaheim, but she already has catapulted her name into the record books. She currently holds the American youth record for girls 18 years old and younger in the pole vault. But what makes Rachel's accomplishments even more impressive, she has been mastering the sport for just under 3 years.
I got into pole vaulting because I was a gymnast for about 11 years, and my track coach found out about that, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to try pole vaulting?" And I said, "Yeah."
However, there was just one small problem.
He told me that we didn't have it at the school, but I was still able to get involved with it.
Her personal coach, BJ Vanderbeck, runs Victory Athletics, a pole vault only club.
Rachel ranks #1 of all the athletes I've worked with, and I've worked with a very large group of really, really good athletes.
Baxter's American record-breaking jump of 14 feet 3 inches came with a price.
Right after I had cleared it, I knew, like, wow, it had just stayed up.
Yes!
Oh! And then I felt the piercing into my side when I got impaled by the pole. So my mind was more on that than on breaking the record.
As painful as that was, she doesn't let the fear of injury get in her way.
Running down the runway towards the box, it's kind of scary, but like once I'm swinging up and clearing and getting over the bar, it is nerve-wracking, but a lot of fun at the same time, because it's just, you're flying through the air like a bird.
What makes Rachel great is her commitment to the details and showing up and being disciplined with every step we take in our approach to the training.
These same qualities apply to her academic work, as this spring, at the height of her track season, she was also taking 3 advanced placement classes.
Yes! That's what we're looking for.
It's tough a lot of the time because I do have so much homework. We just had our AP tests a couple weeks ago, so it was really tough during that sense because that's right when like league finals were. So I'm trying to get enough sleep for that, but at the same time study a lot to try to pass the test.
The results for those tests won't come out until midsummer, but until then, Rachel has a lot to keep herself busy with. She did not qualify for the Olympic trials for a chance to go to Rio, but she will train hard for the next 4 years in the hopes of making it to Tokyo for the Games in 2020. For the Cronkite Sports Bureau in Los Angeles, I'm Corey Kamershak.
Although Rachel didn't qualify for the Olympic trials that might have sent her to Rio, she has a promising future and looks ahead to the Games in 2020 and beyond. Meanwhile, the television network Fox is changing the way we look at the world of athletics from the comfort of our own homes. Cronkite reporter Christian Sebastian stepped into their sports lab to witness how newly patented technology is enhancing the viewer experience.
The future of TV sports technology can be found right here at the Fox lot in the LA suburb of Century City. For 14 months now, Mike Davis, Senior Vice President of Field and Technical Operations, and Zach Fields, Senior Vice President of Graphics Technology and Integration, have overseen projects that look to take sports viewing to the next level.
Zach and myself make up a great deal of what the Fox Sports Lab is from a corporate standpoint. However, we reach out to a countless many vendors, contractors, engineers, consultants to make the types of things that the Fox Sport Lab does possible.
The projects have been integrated into live events, including such high-profile telecasts as the U.S. Open of Golf and NASCAR. In NASCAR, live driver information screens, interior car controls, groundhog cameras, 360-degree exterior views, and virtual reality are just some of what the lab has been working on. Over 100 patents are either booked or pending with Fox Sports Media Group.
We try to put a fence around the types of things that we think are new and innovative and haven't been done before.
The Fox executives constantly are looking ahead for even more innovations.
Some planning is long-term, like we've been planning for Super Bowl for a couple years, or we're already planning towards and have been for the World Cup in 2018.
In this day and age, feedback is instantaneous.
You have to be careful what you pay attention to, but we do look at those things when we're doing something new like VR to say, is the sentiment overwhelmingly positive? Is it overwhelmingly negative? Are there certain things that end up getting kudos versus certain things people really dislike?
Feedback from the virtual reality experience seems to be favorable.
The idea was you could offer a fan the best seat in the house and come up with new ways to keep the viewer engaged. And that's exciting, is, you know, how can you use this medium to tell a story in different ways?
With this technology, there is one idea in mind: storytelling.
Technology has been a huge piece of how we produce sports. The Fox Sports Lab seeks to put all of these technologies under the umbrella of a brand that demonstrates how committed we are to telling stories.
For the near future, ways they are looking to do this are by increasing the use of augmented reality, touchscreens, and 4K high-resolution and frame rate cameras. For the Cronkite Sports Bureau in Los Angeles, I'm Kristen Sebastian.
There, 20-yard.
NBC also has a few tricks up its sleeve for their upcoming Summer Olympic broadcast, as the way we consume sports is changing before our very eyes. We hope you've enjoyed this special edition of Cronkite News from Los Angeles. For Alex Capriello, I'm Corey Kamershak. For top Arizona stories anytime, you can visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.